Good evening. This is the Toothless Vape Reviews. Tonight we will be doing some vape news. A couple of stories. One I was just skimming through and then just saw it in here. FDA issues guidelines for e-cig makers seeking approval of vape devices as of June 11, 2019. The Food and Drug Administration released new guidelines Tuesday for manufacturers seeking approval to continue selling e-cigarettes or vaping devices in the liquids used in the devices to deliver nicotine. This is what happened. Under FDA regulation of e-cigarettes that began in 2016, e-cigarettes, known by the agency as electronic nicotine delivery systems, or ENDS, that were already on the market had to apply for FDA approval to remain available after August 2021. As part of the process, manufacturers must submit a pre-market tobacco product application in which they have to show the product is appropriate for the protection of public health. Well, that's proof of almost every e-cigarette out there or flavor out there, because where it's former smokers that are turning to vaping, smoking is extremely deadly. Vaping is not. So there's one proof right there. Well, so far about putting money in the politicians' pockets. The guidelines released Tuesday give companies an idea of what they must do to stay on the market. So far, no e-cigarettes have reached the end of the process. What it means: the final guidance issued today provides companies seeking to market e-cigarette and ENDS products with recommendations to consider as they prepare a pre-market tobacco product application to help the FDA evaluate the public health benefits and harms of a product. Acting FDA Commissioner Ned Sharpless said in a statement, "There are no authorized e-cigarettes currently on the market." Federal officials were caught off guard by research showing growing youth use of e-cigarettes last year and have made reducing the figure a major focus. The e-cig market. Juul has about 75% of the U.S. e-cigarette market, according to the Nielsen data cited by the Financial Times. U.S. cigarette maker Altria Group, Inc. has a 35% stake in Juul, while Juul, having 75% of the market, also has the most complaints about kids vaping. So let's blame Juul on that one and the rest of the market, because the smaller items, this isn't a Juul, but the smaller items like this, and a Juul is actually about that big. This is a lot bigger and very easy to hide. This, and I have a good sized hand, and you don't really hide that very well. A Juul I can hide in my hand. But this here, this vaping device, you're not hiding in your hand. You're not hiding anywhere. And with something like this, you're not hiding the vapor either. A Juul, it's a little puff of vapor comes out, and that's it. And if you hold it in long enough, no vapor comes out. This here, you hold this in long enough, you're still getting a lot of vapor coming out. So Juul having 75% of the market, I should think they have at least 75% of the responsibility. I probably think 80 or 90% of the responsibility. They're the ones who started marketing to kids back in 2015 and 2016. Let's blame Juul for that one. British American Tobacco makes the second largest e-cigarette brand. Vuse. Philip Morris received approval through the pre-market application process April 30th to sell an electronic device that heats tobacco without burning. It is to produce a nicotine-infused aerosol. That device, ICOS, is already sold in several countries. Amazing. No vape devices, But ICOS comes to the United States, and as soon as Scott Gottlieb leaves, within a month, instantaneous, through the pre-market, it's there, it's done, it's all set to go. But nobody else can do it. It's amazing when you have a big company to have money and pull. Talk about lobbyists. That's about it for that story, but it tells you what it is to be with Juul and ICOS, Altria and Juul. Altria had already got it through the pre-market, and Juul hasn't gone through. But I know they're pushing, and they're sending people they're sending secret shoppers into vape stores and trying to catch vape stores selling to underage. Well, they're the cause of it. They should be the ones blamed for it. And I hope that FDA comes down hard on Juul and leaves the rest of the market alone. Because you don't see kids walking down the street with these bigger devices. You see them walking down with mostly Juul. Around where I live, I go walking down the street. I see the kids getting off the bus. As soon as they come off of the bus, they're using their Juul. And they're underage. Does anybody say anything? Of course not. Good to have lobbyists behind you. Isn't it, Juul? Okay. The end of the first story. We'll look for some more news. Sorry for the jump cut. Okay, here's another story. Smoking and vaping will no longer be allowed at Veteran Affairs VA health centers across the country starting in October, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs announced Tuesday. Historically, permitted designated smoking areas were available at VA facilities. The new policy will limit smoking of all kinds, including cigarettes and electronic vape pens. In announcing the policy change, the VA cited growing evidence that smoke exposure causes significant medical risks. The ban is popular among VA hospital officials. According to the announcement, a recent VA survey found about 85% of facility leadership support smoke-free campuses. We are not alone in recognizing the importance of creating a smoke-free campus, said VA Secretary Robert Wilkie in the release. As of 2014, 4,000 healthcare facilities in 4 national healthcare systems in the U.S. have implemented smoke-free grounds. The new policy will pertain to patients, visitors, volunteers, contractors, and vendors. This policy change coincides with additional VHA efforts to help us become the provider of choice for veterans and the reason why veterans will choose VA, Wilkie said. Now, the hospitals around here, they have specific areas you can smoke and or vape. But this I agree with. You shouldn't be able to, they should have an area. Maybe, 50 feet, 100 feet, 250 feet, 500 feet from the entrance to any part of the hospital. That's what I think they should have. Most of the public hospitals around here in Rhode Island do have that. You have to be X amount of feet away from the entrance, or you can't be near any open windows, which I think that's a great idea. I think it's a fantastic idea. And that gives everybody a chance to breathe the clean air that don't want to, smell a vape or smell a cigarette or any kind of tobacco product. But it's only saying smoking and vaping. I guess chewing, snuffs, and everything else will still be allowed. According to this article, I didn't see anything about that, so. But I think, if you want to be smoke-free, you want to be vape-free, but they're saying anywhere on the campus, they should have, in my opinion, 200, 300, 500 feet from any entrance or any opening, any window, any ventilation. I think that's the way it should be. But if they're going this route and 85% of everybody's saying it should happen, then it's going to happen. I mean, vaping, they have grouped with smoking. There is a big difference. Vaping smells a lot better than smoking. Vaping is 95 to 97% safer for you than smoking. So, But if that's what they want to do, hospitals have the right, businesses have the right to do it. That's what you're going to end up seeing. Now, again, thank you for watching the news. A little light on the news this week. Maybe as summer's coming and different state legislatures are starting to go on vacation, we might see a little less for the summer. But I'll keep up with the news, and any new news I will report on. Thank you for watching Toothless Vape Reviews, my news review. I appreciate you watching my channel. I know your time is precious. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy your vape.